and welcome to the Raw Review. We are the Dudley Boys of WhatCulture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review this week's episode of Raw. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As said, they're joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's Raw and another WWE mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double mixed Gabbo on the road to WrestleMania. That means that nobody knows what's going on, but I quite like it.
4 concurrent mysteries right now in WWE.
Go on.
Mystery Crate, we'll get to that, obviously.
Yep.
Who's the masked man?
Yep.
Who is El Grande Americano?
It's Chad Gable.
And who's El Grande Americano, the other one?
It's Ludwig Kaiser.
You've undermined the actual Gabbos, which are great. Yeah, good Raw for me, this. Like, genuinely, Elimination Chamber's in a pretty good place. Really, really excited for that card. Still can't make head and tail of the majority of WrestleMania. But, you know, as the weeks go by, the need to do that gets chipped away at by WWE's confusing booking patterns. So, fine. Like, I've got some thoughts on what I think is going on in the crate, and I'm into it. And otherwise, I thought this was a decent Raw.
I didn't. It just feels to me like I still don't know the WrestleMania direction. More pertinently, I still feel like they don't really know the WrestleMania direction. It doesn't feel like an assured, hot product with sort of momentum and purpose and everything's firing. It feels actually, I know the buildings are still decent. Not amazing, but decent in terms of atmosphere and scale and whatever. Probably like it's a pretty good new normal for them. It just feels like a lot of the wrestlers aren't as hot as they've been. It feels like a lot of these wrestlers have been hotter. And when you watch a lot of the same familiar faces be not as hot, it's like the thing that you can rely on for WWE is like, as a person who doesn't necessarily love it. Is, well, it feels like the bombast, the spectacle. Like that WrestleMania 40 build was like, I hadn't reckoned with how special it was at the time, and it felt it at the time. You're not going to get one of those every year. You might be 2-2. You might be getting Triple H might be on for a Desmond.
We've talked about this. It's a big one. It's either goes 3-1 up, which is that lovely, comfortable, all right, who gets the next goal? 2-2. Like, that puts massive pressure on next year, doesn't it?
Because he's hitting for a Desmond with this WrestleMania. So 39, I mean, great build. Absolutely sensational build in terms of everything dovetailing. Like a really early indication of, Jesus Christ, Triple H he's going to book this main roster for that specific audience anyway, like incredibly well. And he blew his beans because WrestleMania 40, it was going to be harder because it's always going to be the year Cody was going to do it. What was it? Because Dwayne Johnson says WrestleMania, quite frankly. So if anything, Triple H is 2-1 down.
No.
In any event, it worked. Last year, misfire. This year, I don't think there's going to be any huge critical mistake along the lines of turning John Cena heel, but it just feels flat and like it should be bigger than it is. Again, the pro wrestling on the show was mediocre to decent. But I tell you what, we're not being facetious. Well, maybe I am, but what's in the crate?
Can't wait.
We'll get to the crate. We will get to the crate. But I saw the crate, and it's just the most fundamental bit of psychology in all of life. When you're a toddler and a kid, and you get a present, or you get something that you're not allowed to see into, and it's contained, your overwhelming instinct is, well, what's in it? What's inside?
They've taken my FedVent calendar principle to a literal extreme.
The box.
It's got a date on it. I'll say, well, WrestleMania's Christmas Day and it starts on like January the 1st or whatever. They've set theirs at like the 28th of February and actually given us the gift now. Like, you can open it then.
FedVent calendar.
Yeah, you can open it then, but not a day earlier. Like, we can't open. You could just open it now if you wanted, but like they're going to agree to the rules that somebody has stamped onto the side of this box.
It could be anthrax.
That's true.
Could be a big golden egg.
It could be a boat.
We will get to what it could be when we see it on the show.
I think I know what it is. I'm excited for it as well. I
like the idea, by the way, our Elimination Chamber preview and review will be like, so these people are in the title matches at WrestleMania, but more importantly, the crate.
Yeah,
the box. The box.
I don't disagree with Sidge's take on where the roster feels at heading into WrestleMania, but I think it's interesting that, like, and I think we've been pretty fair on WWE this year, like, as we typically are, because we offer balance between the three of us. When it came to the Rumble, well, before the Rumble, I think we were all pretty high on WWE's creative direction. They'd made a few surprising moves, good kind of surprising, while some of the predictable stuff felt where it should be heading into the Rumble and then subsequently heading into WrestleMania. But I think in order of, like, kind of Rumble praise, Wilbourn, you're on the higher end. I was somewhere in the middle. Sid, you didn't like it.
Well, the Rumble?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because it was ace.
It is, I think it's, with a couple of exceptions, there has been a bit of a fall off post Rumble, but I wonder if that's just because WrestleMania is getting closer. Like, you've almost got the Rumble as this, like, exciting obstacle before you can properly start getting excited about WrestleMania. And instead they've just tried to kick it into the long grass a bit and make the Elimination Chamber that instead. It's almost like creatively that lack of cohesion and direction, like, fed into the Rumble of, it'll clear itself up after the Rumble. Don't worry about it. It's just, you need to get the Rumble done, and then you'll see the vision. And you can't.
That's a problem. I can't see the
I've
vision.
seen too bloody much of the vision, haven't I? Like, and now that it feels like the company is making that same point about the Elimination Chamber, it's asking you to be like, it'll all be obvious after the Chamber. What are you whinging about? It's all going to be super crystal clear after the Chamber. But because you've already done that with the Rumble, I don't necessarily have the faith that it's going to be that way. I have a lot of faith in the WrestleMania card being
maybe
decent.
because of last year? Remember last year when they were like, Mania, and then they were like, oh God, we can't sell any tickets for the Chamber. So they've re-strategized or whatever the phrase you want to use is.
I wouldn't say it necessarily to do with the Chamber, but the, like, wonky build to WrestleMania in general last year. Like, everything affects everything. Like, the years of terrible WWE gives Triple H this easy run, but then he makes more than the best of that to instill a lot of faith in the likes of me, to buy himself a bit of time until last year's WrestleMania build, which wasn't great, which ultimately kind of rattles your faith in him and the trust in the process and all of that, which means that you're quicker to remark on things when things don't look right this year. That's why we say trust the process, and why I say all these things.
I see, in Roman's the personification of that, isn't it? But on Saturday night, everyone's furious, and by the end of Monday, everyone's ecstatic.
Yeah, there's like more people than you would think. I have faith in not to sort of rush to judgment.
Yeah, just let it play out, you might say.
I wouldn't a lot of the time. In some cases, I think it's reasonable too. I think WWE, after years of taking the piss with that, earned a little bit of it, and then paid it off a lot, and then they stopped. Like, last year was where they let it play out because a bunch of stories just got dropped cold or didn't sort of pay off in a very satisfying way. Like the John Cena babyface turn. For people to say, like, let it play out as he made one or two poorly acted teasers and then just on SmackDown for SummerSlam, I'm a goodie again, see you later.
Well, no, he didn't quite say that. He said,
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to let that play out. You know, like, that's not what the it in the let it play out. Yeah. So they lost a lot of that last year, which I think does feed into the, it's okay, I think, personally, this year to sort of rush a bit more to judgment in what appears to be like another dodgy build. I think they'll get there. I sense the roster is strong enough still. The stars will align a little bit, you know.
I disagree somewhat. I think people are saying, like, you can't see what Mania is going to look like. You could probably book about 8 matches right now easily that'll be on across both nights. Yeah,
like, you could book a few different cards realistically.
Yeah.
Sidge and I did a couple on a podcast recently, but again, they've got I think they've got more names. WWE.
Well, then again, to play devil's advocate, I suppose you could say, well, in previous years you've said, it's so long between the Chamber and Mania and everything's all set.
Yeah.
And you're just like, right, we've got 6 weeks of this.
It is like the obvious example is always WrestleMania X7. Loads more of that card was set up in a rush, and quite a bit of it was set up that wasn't supposed to be the card.
And the build was pretty rubbish.
Yeah. The build to the massive main event, which was class, was a terrible build. Shawn Michaels was supposed to wrestle The Undertaker, and Triple H lost to him as a punishment booking, effectively. Benoit and Angle was one of the best matches of the night, and it was set up the week before to the point where they even made a joke about it because Angle didn't have a WrestleMania match. The WCW buyout suddenly became the main like focus of Vince versus Shane out of absolutely nowhere when they'd spent months obviously on the Vince and Linda and Trish. There's loads of examples of it on that card. The Gimmick Battle Royal was this beloved thing, and it was kind of just thrown up as a graphic, and it was like, what are they doing back in the company? It's been 25 years. It had been 2.
Yeah.
But like that's how it felt at the time. There was so much of that card that was, I don't want to say thrown together, but just they had an abundance of star names, a massive stage with which to fill. And it's still got that. WWE's still got that. There are a lot of star names that you can just move around the board kind of at will. You could get to, we've talked about the WWE title picture at the moment, right? I know this is not Raw specific, but it could be, because you could easily port someone like a Gunther over there to, you can just do that. Like, they can take a look at the Drew McIntyre thing and think, right, not only is he not really strong enough to take the belt into Mania, the three-way that we're kind of pitching with him and Cody and Jacob feels kind of weak as well. We're just going to put the belt on Jacob, or we're just going to hoy Gunther over there, and like, he has good chemistry with Drew. They can have a class singles match for the belt or whatever. Like, you can just do stuff. And with that, well, there's only 6 weeks now. You kind of catch people at their most excited for that kind of thing. So, like, it's part luck, but this is not 2019 in the sense that there are lots of stars. Like, they have booked a lot of names. Good. A lot of names that people want to see. It's like, you should be able to put them on a board in a more cohesive way than WWE has done, but you've got at least the benefit of that, like those multiple names. Sooner or later, if you just move them next to each other, it'll be all right on the night.
I'm sure some of these names will be really, really strong, and I look forward to what they do at WrestleMania. What started the show?
It was the Usos.
Yeah, great. Some of the wrestlers in the world.
They yeet through the crowd, and they could barely get through that, to be honest, before they were interrupted by Paul Heyman alongside the Vision. I like the fact that Usos just kind of became audience members at this point. They were just watching in the crowd for about 5-10 minutes as Heyman talks, and then Logan Paul tells Memphis, shut up! And then he talks about the fact, I still can't get over this, that he sold a Pokemon card for $16 million. What's the world coming to? Eh?
There's worse things than that going on. Jesus Christ.
When are my Beanie Babies going to, really... no, I never did that.
I don't keep nothing. You should do. Like, stuff gets value in the end, but I don't keep any of it, man.
Are there any resident metalheads listening, come viewing to this podcast? I have the original gatefold, self-titled debut Slipknot LP. One of the pressings before Purity got removed from it. I think it got re-added, but one of the earlier pressings, because it's got Purity on it, signed by all 9 original members.
Ooh.
I've still got that thinking, if I ever just want to, you know what? I want to go on a spa weekend, a spa retreat. Sell that, and we can... Let me know if anyone...
Yeah.
How much that would cost?
You ever found another one on eBay or anything as a guide?
Yeah, it wasn't 400.
It's never as good as you think, is it? Like, there's a lot of them. Yeah.
But yes, then Logan says, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Logan Paul, and I have a vision.
But the idea would be, this is a couple of years ago, I checked. It's meant to go up and up and up, isn't it?
Sometimes, and then sometimes nobody.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody cares about nothing.
I want to go to the spa.
So they show a replay of this masked man costing Austin Theory last week, and they moan about it until Postman Pearce comes out and says, all right. Playtime of the Vision's over. I realise your babysitter's not doing his job, so let Uncle Adam come out here. Let's all go back to my office and talk about this like adults.
Just saw that big smile come across his face when he said Uncle Adam. That's my name.
Simpler times, wasn't it, when Uncle Adam came around for me. Uncle Adam can be fun and then can be like, there you go.
Oh, yeah, it's an enormous difference.
Yes, he can.
Heyman wants Bronson Reed in the Elimination Chamber, and Pearce says, well, he can be. And I've heard about all these phone calls going over my head you've been doing, Heyman. He can be. You just have to win his qualifier next week. Bing bong, yeah. Out comes LA Knight. Tried a little something different with that this week. See if you can follow it. And he said, let me talk to you. He talks about the chickens coming home to roost. Talking about this guy in the mask. Now it turns around and you get screwed by yourself. Yeah. Story is, you're not going to Elimination Chamber. You're not going to WrestleMania. Dreams dashed. Yeah. Hopes gone. Yeah. And what that means, Bronson Reed, is you're the next one. And I'll tell you what, seriously, I'm praying. If there's anybody up there listening, sweet, filthy Lord, he says, please put Bronson Reed in the Elimination Chamber so I can stuff his fat head between those bars and kick him square in his ass 38,400 times. Yeah, because of everything you've put me through. I like this from LA Knight.
I really like this from LA Knight.
I also like the new trend, and this is because I'm a fan of The Rock, I realise. We had it on SmackDown, Sidge, of when someone says something, say it back in a funny voice.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's like, oh, I'm going to get you back for everything you've done to me. And Logan Paul's like, oh, you mean like putting you through a car? And LA Knight's like, hey, you put me through a car. And I'm like, get him, LA Knight.
I mean, Stone Cold Rock Austin, it would not. Doesn't surprise me one bit that LA Knight has picked up that particular tick.
He called Logan a broccoli-haired bitch and then suggested a 6-man tag with the Usos, who I'd forgotten about, were still in the crowd. And Pearce makes it official.
LA Knight is class.
He is, isn't it?
LA Knight is absolutely class. This is one of his better, funnier promos of late. Like, yeah, I mean, he is Stone Cold The Rock. You know, the Austin.
The Stone.
But, I mean, if you're going to rip off two wrestlers, they're probably two of the better ones to do it. He's got his own kind of sense of humor. I mean, he has Dwayne Johnson's sense of humor, but I like his delivery of it. And literally, before we entered the studio today, I was like, oh, God, yeah, I'm kind of jaded by modern wrestling. Do I try and really get into the spirit of watching it? Even though you probably shouldn't try to fight hard for your interests. They should just grab you organically, in my opinion. And then I watched Eddie Guerrero and Love Machine make that entrance to When Worlds Collide. And it's just the best. The best. Like, wrestling was better when they were more like, you know, I won't say it. I will not say it.
Lots of different people.
Lots of different things.
Yeah.
Just in the air. Like, you get a contact high from watching that entrance. They are maniacal. The heat in that building is completely, it's a kiln. It is so earnest. Like, they are so jacked up in terms of the energy just flying into their bodies. And they can't harness it. You know, there's other things, you know, going on as well. But this crowd is like, f*** off, Burbo, f*** off. And like Eddie Guerrero's just like, yeah! And he's ripping a sign off someone with such force that he might as well take the arm off them and socket at the same time. Rips up and he's like hulking up and going, yeah! It's just like, oh God, this emotion, this intensity. I love the idea of a pro wrestler getting so much from the crowd that the only thing they can do is just through gritted teeth and just making animal noises because they cannot deal with this much adrenaline flowing through them. The closest you're going to get on a WWE broadcast is LA Knight getting high off himself, you know? Just like feeding that crowd, loving how funny he is, loving how sort of like the rhythm of his delivery, how quick he can do it, how funny he can be. And I was like, LA Knight's got a bit of that. I can understand why certain like people just really gravitate towards an LA Knight. And it's weird that you call him, let's face it, a very, very, very passable cosplayer. That's kind of what he is to me. When people are like receiving him and talking about him as some vanguard of the old school. When he wrestles like he trained in Deep South Wrestling in 2007, you know, it's not really old school, but my God, the dude has got some personality and he just feels every second out there. And when he's on and when he gets that rhythm of like the click, 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 it just keeps happening, keeps flowing out of him. I thought he was great.
He's my guy this year. He's my agenda. You know, it's like, this is the year. I think there's been enough waiting around. And in kayfabe, I'd say that's the case as well. They've constantly teased him as the Money in the Bank guy and the nearly man of that. This feels like
a new T-shirt. Was it Unchosen or something?
Yeah,
it says.
Yeah. Like they've played with that to the point where he wasn't like, he was even like firing up about Cody Rhodes a little bit, wasn't he? Like late last year before the Vision took him out about, well, yeah, there are a lot of people that do just seem to get like picked for stuff around here rather than the ones that just constantly get overlooked and have to fight for it. And I think you could
never do that in your own booking, by the way, if it's going well. Ever. No. That's it's another topic.
I'd have found this perfect if we didn't have to have the match afterwards. This is not just the usual, oh God, the bloody wrestling has to get in the way of the wrestling show. But I didn't want to watch LA Knight and the Usos versus Division. Who would? But I loved them all having this little interaction. It was the perfect, like, the Usos came out and yeeted, and then they could have left for me. I like the Vision in this mid-card role and little mini program with Postman Pearce. I like it a lot, actually. Like, he's their best rival yet. Honestly, they piss him off, and he pisses them off. And something's got to give between the two sides, and I enjoy it.
The fact that LA Knight is one of the only people, you do make a salient point there. Like, I don't think the Vision matter. You look at someone like Austin Theory, and I think miracle if you get over. I look at someone like Bronson Reed and think miracle if you really get over. And let's think about what that actually means. Miracle. Logan Paul, he's always going to be this over, and he's always going to be at that level. Seth Rollins was always going to be that over and at that level. Break is different, and that's why he was the focal point. But this version of the Vision, cannot be arsed with them on screen. It just feels like they are dead on arrival, this incarnation. Up pops LA Knight, and he's like, well, I'm a good worker. I'll care about them. So you will as a result. Really good night for LA Knight.
He's got revenge to get as well. He's not finished beating them up yet, you know?
This felt like a means to an end of, setting up LA Knight versus potentially a member of the Vision down at Mania, for example.
Brock was rumoured.
Brock was rumoured.
I could see that now if you're going with the Vision for the tag titles.
And then, the tag titles, obviously, with the result. By the way, I've just remembered, you remember we were talking in the office yesterday about, like, if we asked the WhatCulture audience who's the better tag team, we did a vote on the...
We did. I think Andy was looking forward to revealing the results, though.
Okay. We'll check it out. I'll say no more.
Yeah, I knew before the poll was put up.
So it was the Usos versus... and LA Knight versus, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory. Knight's in trouble after a break. He dodges a senton, though, from Reed.
I do have the definitive answer to that question, by the way. But I'll tell you once, everyone gets it wrong.
4 letters, 1 word each.
No.
Hot tag to Jey Uso. He comes in with clotheslines, right hands, a running hip attack. Fans are yeeting along with all this. He spears.
It's the Young Bucks, I'll tell you now in case I forget. Inaugural All In 2018. An 11-minute match happens that's meant to be a lot longer. The wrestlers in this match, and there's 3 different languages, is there not? Mm-hmm. Right. At least, are told minutes before this match is meant to take the ring, this 11-minute match, which is meant to be far longer, bad news, guys, the timers has to be cut considerably. In this high-pressure situation on a major show, can you, lop 2/3 off this match, and you've got about 10 seconds to think about how to do it. Start thinking, and you've got 3 now. You know what? Just get to the ring. This match is considered this unbelievable, goes perfectly. People sense, the other match went long to enforce this one going short. But this 11-minute match at All In 2018, my God, that was incredible. You wouldn't think that it just went perfectly. It was exhilarating. What an unbelievable sprint it was. WrestleMania 40, an 11-minute match between Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. They get told, your time's been cut. Okay. I don't know what the to do. Because they just kick each other. And they're not even good super kicks either. The Young Bucks, you might think they do too much of them. They can at least do a super kick. They understand the point of a super kick, because it's basically, that's the nice wrestling name for a thrust kick, where you thrust your leg and foot into somewhere near the face of your opponent with the idea that's something called force. Yeah? Impact. The Usos just lean backwards and stick a leg out and go egregiously, right? Seriously, you can prefer the Usos for whatever reason. Sometimes vibe, personality. That's all Jey Uso is, quite frankly. And people like that, and I can't argue it. I see evidence of it. Even in the Big 26, people are still eating.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. However, if you look at pro wrestling, and it's all completely subjective, but there is an objective skill to being able to go in cold, right? This audience won't want to see this little bit of build we need to do. go balls to the wall and just give them the ultimate stunt show in the main event of All in 2018. WrestleMania 40. What do we keep? What do we save? Just super kick each other for 10 minutes straight. Is that anything? The ability to, on the fly, improvise an entertaining pro wrestling match, and it's ironic considering this killing the business stuff that the Young Bucks have been drawn accusations of by idiots for their entire career. Oh, well, they did it. They improvised. They did the quote-unquote old school thing of going out, reading the crowd, not having a script for the match, or at least heavily reducing it to the point where you're basically memorizing something brand new anyway. So for all intents and purposes, it is an impromptu, improvised thing. The Usos couldn't do it for love nor money. They didn't just have a mediocre match. They didn't have a rushed match. They had an absolute disaster out there. A disaster. So in terms of pure definition of working, improvising, that ability that you can measure, the Young Bucks are like, you just have to look at the matches as well with your friggin' eyes. But whatever, there is a very good case of, one team did it and one team didn't.
Singles match on it, so it's different.
Mm-hmm. Name an Usos match as good and as story dense, right, and as moves good as Revolution 2020. It's not. Do not say that WrestleMania 1 against Dean Jericho.
It was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as that.
I don't know who Dean Jericho are.
Was that the main event?
Yeah, it was the main event of WrestleMania. That would have been, to be absolutely fair to the Young Bucks, because they formed AEW, so they probably had a tag main event well before that. Otherwise, I would say
Sorry, Raj. Sorry, Justin.
I would say probably.
Sorry, Bully. Sorry, Tommy.
Probably New Day.
That's all right, Dave.
Probably New Day versus Usos. New Day Usos, Hell in a Cell, or SummerSlam pre-show.
Better than Revolution. I'm this.
I know. I said better than Revolution 24.
2020.
Oh, Revolution 2020. Oh yeah, that was better than
anything they've ever done, or they could ever hope to achieve in 1,000 timelines. Of course it is, man. Don't be stupid.
I've watched it in a while.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, just a good story, though, isn't it? Like same as the Bloodline.
Good point. So yeah, the Usos are in there. Jay's in there.
Good point. Moving on. I hate you.
Jay Spears.
The name on the
Paul.
marquee is Raw.
Theory breaks up the cover. Night Post Theory gives him a BFT
I'll
outside.
remember that one tomorrow.
I know you will. You always do.
He's not here tomorrow.
You have to remember it on Thursday.
I'll remember it on Thursday. What are you doing tomorrow?
I mean, you might watch this one day. We're going into Charlie's school. They have these days every now and then where you sit and you do classes with the day, and it's it's a lovely thing.
A viable reason. Okay.
It's always viable.
To leave me in the lurch. NXT by myself, it's brutal.
That's right, you'll have me.
He'll get you through it.
Yeah. A BFT outside the ring. Reed tackles Knight through the barricade. Amazing spot. Logan Paul blocks blocks a super kick and hits a zig.
You do the act, and you can be discerning about the dub, but this about the
I'm a huge fan of AEW now.
It's changed teams.
Yeah.
When are you going to say a barricade spot is just crap? Be sincere about it.
I don't feel about it.
Okay.
Logan,
I am trying, guys. I am trying.
Logan blocks.
I really am.
Blocks a super kick and hit a zigzag for 2. Jay super kicks Logan. Jimmy comes in. They hit super kicks on the 1D, but Reed breaks up the cover. Reed headbutts Jay out of the ring, takes out both the Usos with a dive to the outside, and Paul nails Jimmy with that loaded hand of his, and Reed hits the tsunami for the 1, 2, 3.
Sort of wish that last conversation hadn't been reduced to me and you behaving like insincere dickheads whilst I was trying to make a salient point, because I feel like I could make one about this match. Yeah, I know.
Was it better than any Young Bucks match ever?
Not by a million years.
No, never is. Never
but it
will
was,
be.
And, I've just said it before we even talked about it. I didn't want to watch this match. Didn't move along at quite a clip. It's pretty over. All apart from LA Knight are wrestlers I don't really like watching. And yet, it was entertaining. And Yeet. Thank you. That's good. See that?
See that? Finish the sentence.
He hates himself more for that.
See that? And then you're like, oh, that's where the one is kind of more than
just talk about the match.
Yeah, this surpassed my rock bottom expectations and was, again,
a completely forgettable TV match.
They always are. But they're forgettable. They're the same but different, aren't they, WWE and AEW? Because they're forgettable in their own unique ways.
Yeah.
And it's just this, I'll never watch this match ever again. It might have built a WrestleMania tag team title match, or at least kick-started the one of that. It might have just hinted at what LA Knight's direction is going to be, if indeed it's going to be Brock Lesnar, and that's why he's kind of been kept with the vision until we get to Elimination Chamber, which he probably won't win. And I wasn't really bored by this. And considering the rest is in, I expected to be.
That was a genuine achievement, I suppose.
Yeah.
I wasn't bored neither. I will say I was insulted. I mean, that's a complete exaggeration. But I hate this idea that every now and then, I'm expected to suddenly take Bronson Reed seriously as this monster who'll crush your ribs and take over WWE, and you can't beat him, and piss off.
Would be funny if they got the tag team title match and Austin Theory missed out, wouldn't it? Because if you're picking that, if you're saying like, right, Brock's taking care of LA Knight, I suppose maybe they might do the Masked Man versus Logan Paul, depending on Breaker. But if not, you're picking Logan Paul and Bronson Reed out of the Vision.
Of course,
three, Anyway, speaking of Logan Paul, he grabs Michael Cole's headset to brag about the victory, and he's leaning over the desk as he does it. Suddenly, the Masked Man reappears. Another curb stomp on the announce table, and the Masked Man runs away into the crowd.
Paul Heyman is a rat. He is so desperate to not be associated with this very obviously mid-card act. He's Rybacksel this bitch all over again. Like, when this was, say, like a Roman Reigns helmed bloodline, or just Brock Lesnar brackets general, or, whatever, where Paul Heyman is very
main event unit.
Top act, even Bron Breaker's version of the Vision, I would argue. The Masked Man, in this case, would run into the crowd, and Paul Heyman would tremble in fear as his muscular charges made veiled threats to this Masked Man. We're going to get you, whatever, like that. He stood, I think, on the steps, maybe on the apron, taller than his wrestlers, right? Just screaming at the Masked Man. Show yourself, you bitch, you stupid bitch. He is actually, so you can see him mouthing, you bitch, sir.
Suck my dick, bitch.
Yeah. This is the dance, bitch. Austin Theory, what are we going to do, boys? Confused idiots. He's obviously got control over all this. How about if I stand on the east, stand there, and then they'll really get him. It's just...
Did you see...
Sick to my stomach, Joe,
Did you see Heyman's face when Logan Paul was doing his talking bit? I know at the start.
Yeah, not that I recall.
Logan Paul was doing, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Logan Paul. Usually... when he's invested in the act, and Paul Heyman's deal is, and the hype man, and he overdoes it, funnily enough, because it's Paul Heyman, a total hack. God, one of the most overrated performers in living memory, but another topic. He does this thing where every second is spent in this reverent awe of whoever he's representing at the time, because that's how, in his head... that's how these thickos understand that this person's over and they're great. He doesn't do that with any of these absolute losers.
No.
He looked a little bit, why is this guy talking and doing my thing? Not oh, look, I've taught him well, or he's doing my thing. My big star's doing my thing. How cool is that?
He fawns over them normally, doesn't he?
He's not, he ain't doing that. The devious son of a bitch.
Right.
Oh my God.
It's mystery crate time.
Here it is.
Yes.
Here it is.
Some bloke called Eli walks up to Adam Pearce with a large wooden crate with "Deliver to WWE" written on it, and the words "Do not open until the 28th of February 2026, which is the date of Elimination Chamber."
What's in the box?
And he asks Eli, does Adam Pearce, what's in the box? And Eli, who has a very certain clipboard with a piece of paper with nothing written on it, goes, no idea, boys. And so Pearce simply tells him to send it to SmackDown. So the SmackDown GM, I can't remember what his name is.
Nick Aldis.
Thank you. Can deal with it there. Anyway, El Grande Americano gets involved here because he wants a shot at the chamber because the other El Grande Americano is in a qualifier. I should have mentioned that. He wants an IC title shot instead, and Pearce tells him to earn it. But no one cares about that. The mystery crate.
I am so excited about the mystery crate, and I think I've got it. Right? I reckon and this is part of the fun, because, it's like Eric Rowan's spooky spider all over again. It could be it could always be a spooky spider.
It could be anything.
It could be anything.
It could be a spooky spider.
Right? I think the crate is going to be open at Elimination Chamber, and it's going to be a big, old-fashioned Vegas one-arm bandit, right? And some wrestler, TBD, don't know who yet, is going to I think I'll have a go at that. Pull it down. Jing, 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 jing. Y2J. On the arcade thing.
I mean...
Instant build.
So you're excited about Chris Jericho?
Yeah, I've changed my opinion of him.
He's such an arsehole.
I will say I am not, but if there was ever a way to at least make me care about the build to it, it would be with a mystery crate.
If ever there was a way, I've got a way of making you excited about Chris Jericho.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to know what it is?
Yes, please.
Yeah, it's by having him appear on WWE television.
I walked past his poster the other day for the gig in Newcastle on Sunday, like the front of his 40 poster. I keep looking at him and being like, oh, you've come on, yeah, I know you are. I hope he gets up after the Rumble that maybe he's not coming. He's coming. I'm still fighting against the dying of the light with Chris Jericho, but this crate thing got me thinking it might be all right.
If you listen to those 2024 pods, I've never heard you go two-footed.
I'm dreading it
on anyone. You say that. You also said yesterday when I was like, what is it about the insufferable AJ Lee that you like so much? Your direct quote was, I like over wrestlers. I think Chris Jericho is going to be over.
And
you've held firm on Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
I believe in you. You're going to get bowled over by the fedness of it all.
Well, WWE is the best thing that's ever happened, isn't it? I made this perfectly clear. So this is how they do it. This is how they do it. Get a f***ing big crate.
All I'll say is you listen to a 2024 AEW review, and we'll talk.
Insufferable figure.
Indeed. I have no idea about the crate. That is what attracts me to the crate. Okay. I have got I don't have an idea, but I will reject yours. Hypothetically, just as a little sort of discussion. I don't know what's in the crate. I don't know what isn't in the crate. But if you look, you'd think like the arrival of Chris Jericho, you think the crate would be treated as like, oh my God,
yeah,
what's in the crate? Instantly, Adam Pearce just doesn't want anything to do with it.
I'll agree for Triple H having to use Chris Jericho.
Potentially. There's always something to read into. And then it is surrounded instantly by, people who do lighter comedic fare in the mid-card. So maybe there's a level to the crate, and it's like prelim comedy,
I think it's week 1 of the crate. I think when we've got week 2 next week, second week of the crate.
We've got a fantasy book, the crate.
Well, there's 4 shows for the crate, isn't there?
Oh, of course, because it's going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah. It's like the egg, the gobbledygooker's egg. It didn't just rock up to the superstars before Survivor. You got a month for that thing. Yeah. That's a lot. You got 4 crate shows.
What if, and this would make no sense, but wrestling plays with this sort of absurdity all the time. It is a wrestler who you're meant to believe has survived in the crate for 2 weeks.
Craig Carly?
Without...
Sublime.
Sublime.
I just glad I didn't see it going. And I wouldn't, because the crate's shorter than Carly.
But that's the thing. You can change the dimensions of the crate. You can create living conditions within the crate for a fortnight because it's wrestling and it makes no sense. And it would be so absurd if there's an actual human in there. It's human-shaped.
Yeah, someone just stood in it.
Like someone could feasibly stand in there, not for 2 weeks, but you know what I mean.
It'd be very NXT for one of their wrestlers to just think, how am I going to get on this main roster? Put myself in a crate.
I mean, there's a guy I'm thinking of, but I'm fairly certain he's in a match tonight, so that would rule him out. It's Shiloh Hill.
He would 100% deliver himself to the main roster.
A crate.
Order himself off the dark web.
But he's in action tonight, which we'll preview on the NXT pod later on.
What if it's just Jericho himself?
Yeah. And he's basically comes out exactly as he went into the box in 2018. Same gimmick, the whole deal, as if like the last, like the Dallas thing where like he comes out of the shower. Jericho's entire AEW run was just like a figment of everybody else's imagination apart from his. He'd be banging into that sort of nonsense, wouldn't he?
Tell you what, as well, before they actually signed him, ruling him out, it'd be really funny if Matt Cardona just packed himself up, tried to get delivered to the Fed. So this is one way in, isn't it? So you got to accept a delivery after all. So it's Cardona finding some system of like breathing apparatus and just enough tiny holes, and like much like a hibernating animal storing food inside his cheeks or his body, like some slow release energy foods, and just keeping himself alive basically to sort of exist and survive in this crate. And then like people instantly just feel the aura of Cardona and go, I don't want anything to do with this box. I don't even know what's inside it. I couldn't even hazard a guess, but I can feel that I don't like it. Then he gets shipped to SmackDown, and then he gets shipped back to Raw, and then he'd find out, who is it? It's Matt Cardona. I'm back. I don't remember signing you.
Tragic irony. Cardona knows as well as anybody that once you open that crate, it halves in value as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's like, who's in the crate? And like everyone's like, we don't actually care that much. And then open, it's Cardona. Well, because I'm back. So you can't just put yourself in the crate and say that you signed to WWE. That's not really how it works. Have we offered you a contract? No, we haven't. Do we want you back? In fact, no, we don't. And probably got buyer's remorse anyway. Like, no offense, but like, what's he doing on SmackDown really? Nothing.
He's hanging out with his best friend Apollo Crews, Sidge.
Yeah, they go back never. There's like a gang of wrestlers have to get together to see if they can lift the crate, to see if there's a return to sender address on the bottom.
Yeah,
don't forget the
just fucking Disneyland.
Don't forget the moment on SmackDown as well. He got his arse out basically, didn't he?
Yeah, they were like comedy spot kind of in the middle of the match where he just pulled the pants down for a bit. Like you are, Matt.
I'm
hell of a run so
really
far.
Excited to have. I mean, we've got a lot of time to preview this. Obviously, it'll be a feature on all the podcasts leading towards the Elimination Chamber.
Have you got an idea?
I mean, I did see someone on X, because obviously I was immediately like, well, I've got to see what people are making this. Some people are just like, oh, it's probably just something for like 2K or whatever. And I was like, no, I don't think it's that. I mean, it could be. Sorry, you said this earlier.
Triple H has got the 2K advertising down, so don't worry about that. Yeah, he's got that covered.
It's Triple H and CM Punk too. You said this earlier, and I feel weird if we don't do it, especially with gobbledygook being mentioned. Egg, you know, the legacy of that.
The leg, I see.
I did see someone saying, if you look closely at the way the wood's shaped, it spells Y2J.
What?
This is what we're doing. Crate wood law now.
I need to see this.
I don't even know what to search. Y2J crate. Yeah, my immediate thought was
Y2 crate.
I need the guy that made the initial crack the code video to make a new one, crack the crate.
Yeah. Could be Sting's chin. That's what he could be.
Look, this is why these things work. Like, Y2J is in the wood.
Honestly, man. People saw those shoes and thought new faction going to run roughshod over Monday Night Raw. They did. People's imaginations just go crazy.
The shoe weekend. It was brilliant.
It is a very Jericho Pill thing, this.
Mm-hmm. Just the rest of Fozzy in a crate.
Can't find the Y2J.
You won't be needing them anymore.
It was on the WWE official, crate watch or whatever they're calling it.
It could be crates are for stuff. It could be like he's a massive props guy. Imagine if it was just everything that you would put in a Chris Jericho WWE Hall of Fame exhibit. And it's just all of his...
The light-up jacket, like from Finn Balor's
Festival of Friendship
Japan.
Bits, loads, you know.
And the clipboard for the list.
Yeah, like it's just all of the various bits, and it's like, oh God, I think I know who these belong to. And there's this like, you can either do it as an ominous thing or it looks like somebody's going to be coming to pick this stuff up. And that's, and like it's traveling all the way to the crate's going to WrestleMania.
I'm just using the crate, man.
Is it big enough to be a bonus pod in the Elimination Chamber, like another pod?
Oh, I see. Yes,
additional pod.
Like everybody's ready.
I love that.
First of all, I love that. Second of all, I thought we were going to do an additional podcast all about the crate, which I'm more than into.
I mean, now we're talking.
We're talking two things now.
Yeah,
a extra pod.
I love that.
And Jericho's in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just inserts himself in the middle of the chamber and wins. And Chris Jericho versus Drew McIntyre. But the pod itself,
you bloody love it.
All right.
What came next? Oh, the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. It was Asuka.
What came next? The crate of the egg.
Asuka versus
That almost makes less than 0 cents.
Asuka versus Nattie
It's
versus
obviously the egg.
Bayley. I know you two will have liked this. I knew it. The moment I watched this, I was like, these two boys are going to love this. Because they talk about Nattie, they talk about the dungeon. And what name did they drop?
Stu Hart.
Stu Hart. So there you go.
I'm not latching onto that.
Okay.
I'm just not latching onto anything here. What a complete waste of time this Nattie rollout's been.
Brett, I've beaten her every week, Brett.
See, I knew you'd like it in the end.
The legacy of my basement getting besmirched by another one of these dip kids. Make a call, Brett.
See? Comes good in the end, doesn't it?
I mean, what the hell was this?
Character's dead on its ass.
Dead on its A.
0
I
wins.
feel terrible about this.
It's got a 100% beaten record. Well done, Nattie.
What was the point of this? It's the facial expressions as well. It's like, oh my god, it's almost a tragedy.
She's getting like Asuka's face before the bell. Right? Remember
Yeah.
that? Yeah. So she dominates early
It's
on.
that- yeah. Talk.
She has control going into the break. When we come back,
Mixed martial bacon. It's like it's a kind of serious attempt to be gritty and gnarly and stuff.
Mixed martial farts. Because
Yes!
that's what she did.
Hard farts.
Yeah, then she did it as a gimmick.
Yeah.
So
That's so many ways in which that works.
Bayley fights back after the break. Hit a elbow drop to Nattie's back. Nattie got trapped in the tree of woe. I like the fact that Bayley didn't do the like convoluted, do this. Oh, bloody hell, she's risen up. She just elbow dropped Nattie and then superplexed Asuka, which is sensible. But Nattie comes back, gives Bayley a German suplex on the apron, but spends too much time baconing out. And Asuka grabs her in the Asuka lock, but Nattie breaks out of that and hits a sit-out powerbomb. She puts a sharpshooter on, but Bayley breaks that up with a running knee. Asuka knocks Nattie out of the ring with a running hip attack. But Bayley, crowd woke up for this, hits Asuka with a Bayley to belly for a nice near fall.
it's a decent near fall.
Yeah, they trade counters. Asuka shoves Bayley into the ropes. She knocks Nattie off the apron in the process. And Asuka catches Bayley in the Asuka lock and she taps out. Asuka advances to the chamber. Post-match, Maxime Dupri jumps Nattie from behind on the stage. As the fans, and this was a constant throughout this show, chant, whoop that trick.
Yeah, that popped up all night, didn't it? Another sign that this should probably just go with Trick right now. Like, speed run through a US title run if you must or whatever, but get him into that. Buy Money in the Bank at the absolute latest. Get him ready to be in that spot. I feel bad taking the piss out of this, as we already have and probably will continue to, because for the most part, we take the piss out of rubbish matches this year. There's been quite a lot.
This is actually,
and
elements.
And I can almost sort of hear people saying, yeah, but they took the piss out of something because it's rubbish. Like, and they're taking the piss out of this because it's good. What won't they take the piss out of? Well, nothing, for starters.
You gotta laugh.
You gotta
Everyone
laugh.
can get it as well.
Mainly Hangman Page.
But, because the work was
I'm a fan
fine.
of AEW now.
Wasn't it? The work was fine here. It was, genuinely. You're taking the piss out of this Nattie character because what a ludicrous thing to introduce to then just go on to have a lose and lose and lose. Like, ludicrous character
Yeah,
to
it's
try and
funny.
introduce.
Yeah, shame.
Can't buy
It's
a
real
win.
shame.
But Bayley and Asuka, and I feel sad including both in this, really, but they're just not.
You'll never stop fighting for them, will you?
Not really, but neither of them are that over. Like, the Asuka Kyrie thing gets picked up and then dropped and picked up and dropped. It was peaking last summer when they were in the feud with RHIYO, and ultimately it did help them as a tag team, and sometimes wrestlers exist to be building blocks for other more overacting characters, and that's worked, and it's fine. But past tense, it's worked. Not a lot has happened since. Bayley and Lyra have cooled massively. They've pretty much dropped the Bayley, like, two personalities character we had a lot of fun with. Missed that. So yeah, just
Maybe it's the other Baileys in the crate.
another good suggestion. 3 characters that aren't over having a perfectly worked match, but there's loads of logic flaws with the particular characters. This is knout of out, this one.
Yeah, some decent near falls in spite of itself, we can probably say. Well, I just did. So, I'll tell you what, this Nattie thing's pathetic. Jesus Christ. It's one of my biggest wrestling icks. And it's really pertains to Triple H, because he did this constantly, of like the most pathetic and least credible act going on like they're the hardest. Like Natalya, it's such a sudden pivot. Like, oh, my trainee's kind of annoying us, right? Time to, you know how I'm going to teach her a lesson? By becoming the hardest person in the world who's ever existed. What? I can't take that seriously. You're a mid-card gatekeeper. You're a specialist in mediocrity. That's what she is.
Yeah.
She literally specializes in mediocrity, does Natalya, because we've seen such an unbelievably long sample range of just nothing output, okay? To then be, well, I'm actually the hardest woman who's ever lived. What? What? It's an insult of an act to begin with. The least you can do, and I'm talking the bare minimum, is pretend. Because guess what? You live in fantasy land. It's called professional wrestling. It's a children's TV show, fundamentally. This WWE version of it. Kind of just pretend that's just hard. Can't even do that. Like, she gets beaten all the time. And it is the ick, right, stems from, you know, the fury, actually. It's a bit of both. The ick and the fury is, how many years has she been? Is Natalya still in it? No one's ever asked that, by the way. But how long has she been in it?
Coming up
We've
on
done
20.
this-
Yeah, coming up 20 years.
Yeah, the old 20. The old 2 decades of destruction. 20 years of, like, I can't take you seriously. You just pop up when inexplicably at a SummerSlam sometimes as a title challenger, or you just do some stuff. And we've been through Natalya. We've done Natalya. And then, like, 20 years to, I'm the hardest in the world. What? Where did this come from? And then they can't even pretend that she isn't without booking. And it's the face of, like, there's a new Nattie in town now. No, there isn't. You're still pretty bang average in the ring, and you're a loser. It's the specific face of, if I just do this facial expression, it's just pitiable. I can imagine her practicing it in her house, thinking it's a big break.
Yeah.
No, not really. Like, it sucks. And the worst thing about it is you think you ate,
Yeah.
and you didn't.
It just never gets over, does it? Nobody ever.
I mean, I feel sorry for her in a way, because she tried to build this elsewhere.
And they've got
She
to
had-
try as well, though.
She had the clever idea of, like, and it's complete forever now, of, like, the idea would be Natalya's really well respected. And you know what? I, on some level, respect and admire her. She wants to make everybody else better, and she does the classes.
Yeah.
And it's always that WWE thing. It's like, is she just crap because she's in the Fed? It's always such a reasonable question, which makes the continued popularity of WWE and the fact that you call it your sports team. It's worse than that, brother. It's your religion.
Well, I don't.
In many ways, it actually is.
Yeah, I don't have an actual religion, so I might as well.
Either way,
Have they?
she had the clever thing of, right, okay, I can disassociate people from me as Natalya in WWE. I'm starting to get some individual ambitions, actually. I can do this and come out of rage and beat people up, and it doesn't look that bad at all. Fair play to her. She's developed that kind of, hang on, is Natalya good? And then WWE get their hands on it.
Yeah.
They don't build it at all. It feels like she's been here long enough, and like, and she's part of the furniture for many different reasons, not necessarily her immense talent. Let's give her it. I don't necessarily try, but let's give her it. It's just, it's a sad state of affairs, all this.
But they used to do more. Just like when you transition accent to something.
It is your religion, isn't it?
If I had such a thing, or believed in such a thing, it would
It's
be
the
that.
closest thing you have in your life to a religion, WWE.
Yeah. Like, they used to, like, put effort into changing these characters, even when you didn't necessarily notice it happening, because it wouldn't be credible otherwise. Even the stupid stuff. You didn't like, hey, gang, I'm Sparky Plug. I'm going to f***ing kill you. That wasn't, like, how it happened for Bob Holly when he was driving a race car around, was it? He was this guy that was, like, acknowledging he was a bit of a loser. He shaved his head and had a fight in a river with Al Snow. You're like,
It was good.
that's pretty badass.
It's actually pretty hard.
Core. And all of a sudden, alliteration, boom. Gets
And then he
arrested.
became hard. It's
To
in
the
the core.
Oh, he gets a WrestleMania match out of it. Like, as Sid says, you kind of can't just do that. But she went away and sort of did it by herself.
It's the face.
Yeah.
That I'm hard and mean. Oh.
Took her months to get this away on television. She was still just Natalia for a bit, and it was like, oh, that got a bit of buzz. Go on, we'll give it a go. I know we said we'd give it a go. We'll let you dress like it.
Yeah.
We're not going to give it a go. Where did you get that impression from?
Well, anyway, backstage following this, Pearce is there with Oba Femi. He's being courted by both Raw and SmackDown. He offered Oba a contract and said SmackDown won't be able to beat that. Femi wanted time to decide. As he goes to leave, who's there but Rusev?
Little bitch Rusev. That's what he is, and he compared to him.
Yeah.
Raw's Kit Wilson, Rusev.
Oh, why not?
Little bitch Rusev passed over because he wasn't very good. He had ideas above his station, and he should have stayed where he was. Oh, lessons to be learned. It's funny though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. It's brilliant.
It is funny.
I'll back this completely. If you're not good or interesting or entertaining enough or convincing enough or anything.
Bump for the people who are.
Yep. I'm going to put WWE over for something. There, I said it.
Good for you.
This latest round, after an extended period where I think you could have a debate, I don't think it was an open and shut, but you could definitely have a debate about how's this NXT transition process not better now, considering it's Shawn and Triple H. Like, it's okay in places, but there's been a few fumbles along the way as well, and there shouldn't be, ultimately. Like, they're way closer together in what they want. There seems a lot more cohesion in even the type of wrestlers that NXT is bringing in versus the ones that Triple H was giving to Vincent McMahon for him to despise and bury. You know,
Yes.
like, in every respect, this should be loads better. This class, like, you've got Trick Williams, feels like an instant star. They're getting nothing wrong with him, and he's getting everything right. Oba Femi, monster, subject of a contract battle. Javon Evans, immediate, out of the box success story, who's like surprising people with his aerial assaults and getting into big matches. And he might not win things, but look at the Rumble, look at what he's going to do.
He's
at the
like an
Chamber.
up and comer you got to keep your eye on.
Exactly that, yeah. They are finding little ways to make everybody feel like unique and have their own identity. They've all been called up as a class, effectively, but they're all success stories on their own terms. This is the best ever, probably. We should expect more of this. This should be the bar. This should be the standard. Like, the wrestlers at this point have built up a certain core fan base with the NXT, viewers. We are not great in number, but we are great in voice for our call-ups and our faves. And when they arrive, there's no reason for any of them to suddenly be like, oh, there's the rubbish one. You can make the best out of all of them. You can do it. And they've...
The rubbish one's Rusev.
Well, yeah, he wasn't an NXT, but yeah, you can come up with a little creative direction that's different from each one, but nonetheless benefit all of them. It's impressed me, this one.
Well, speaking of talent that NXT formed, Liv Morgan sits down with Michael Cole for a sit-down interview. Dominik Mysterio there, and she talks about not making a decision for Mania just yet. She's not grinded for 10 years to let this moment pass her by, but then NXT's Stephanie Vaquer joins and yells at her in Spanish, and the translation's been released. I'll just read that. She said, "Did you say 10 years of hard work? You working hard? That's bullshit. You sacrificed nothing. WWE gave you everything. The best training, the best medical. You were given everything. You want to talk about sacrifice? I was born in Chile, a country where wrestling doesn't even exist. And now I've traveled all over the world. Japan, Mexico, Latin America, Europe. I've conquered everything. You should be ashamed because you hide behind the Judgment Day. It's sad because you need to hide behind a man as well. But let me tell you something. I went through hell and made it mine. All I did was get to WWE and become champion. This title for me means more than just a title. It's for all the little girls, all the women who never got the opportunity and overcame it anyway. Liv, if you pick me, you won't win because I'm going to show you what a real champion is." Dom is shocked by all this. He's sort of translating for Liv as this is going on, and Liv Morgan bursts into tears and is just shell-shocked by all this.
I don't know quite where the Liv crying is going, but I continue to really like this, and I think they've fairly organically developed proper heat between these two, so that when Liv picks Stephanie Vaquer, it's going to feel like the right match, not just a Rumble winner picking an opponent. And to that point, by the way, this should now still live in it thinking, should I just pick Jade Cargill? She's really rattled me. And I might just, where it looked fairly obvious what I was going to do, in fact, I might just go back over there.
I pick JC Jane right now.
No, just to get myself.
This is the match. This is one of the few things that, even though it's not my kind of thing, and I'm half like, more like what they're doing as opposed to, oh my God, what are they doing? Like you're making your baby face somewhat, your heel somewhat sympathetic, and
they needled her into this last week though.
Yeah,
Liv's had this one coming a bit. You know, they're like extended. I'm the best Royal Rumble winner ever. Like they're kind of just how over the top she's being. They needled.
That's how she reacts to it, I guess, when she's going to be a total dickhead and plan some kind of gang beat down on Vaquer.
It's baked into Vaquer's law that WWE was her everything as well. So like I bought all of this too. Like obviously it's great. We've seen this with wrestlers before that don't have English as a first language when they're allowed to just confidently deliver these promos. And
this is the match though. This is one of the few matches that feels nailed on, that there's a little bit of juice behind it in this WrestleMania season.
There was zero. Liv won the Rumble. Do you know what I mean? That you were kind of going off that as your standing start, and they sort of snuck the foohead in over these past few weeks. And I think by the time, again, like, I would fully expect them to just have Liv maybe shy away from it a little bit before she ultimately, challenges it. I'm impressed with all this.
Yeah, I said this on the news. I just love people yelling in a language I don't understand, but I can infer what they're saying basically.
Yeah.
The Asuka EO one is the classic. Obviously, just like I have no idea what you're saying, but
you're gonna have a fight. Blood's pumped for it.
Got another promo segment next. CM Punk comes out. He says the fans seem happy to see him, but the office isn't, because Pearce was claiming he's jeopardizing the WrestleMania main event with what he's doing with Finn Balor. But he said he was doing what he always did, and that's make everything better.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
Your face.
He says sports teams qualify for the playoffs, but they still show up to play their regular season games, basically. The fans deserved a fighting champion, just like Finn Balor deserved that title shot he got in Belfast for everything he's done in his career. But now Balor was getting a title shot because he earned it. Earned an ass beating, that is. He talks about Balor jumping him in Toronto a few weeks ago, ruining the last time he'd get to share a ring with AJ Styles, although apparently not, considering what we get at the end of this show, by the way. He says, Punk often says things that piss people off. He wouldn't be who he was if he didn't say that. The fans wouldn't love him either. He's a fighting champion and the best in the world. Better than Roman Reigns or Finn Balor. Big dong, squeeze me. Out comes Finn Balor, obviously.
Strong again.
Flanked by Dominik Mysterio and a returning JD McDonough. And they surround the ring. Well, sort of. Can't do it with three people, but you know what I mean. But Balor says they're not out there to fight. He just wanted to make something clear. To be the best in the world, you have to train with the best catch wrestlers in Europe, learn with the best luchadors in Mexico, survive the toughest dojos in Japan, and show up to Raw and beat Roman Reigns on your first night. So as far as Balor's concerned, he's the best in the world, and he wouldn't be jeopardizing the WrestleMania main event. He was going to make it better by beating CM Punk. And Punk asked him what the two idiots were doing with him. Punk said, I know who you are. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I know who you were. All those great things you did, Finn, you did by yourself. You didn't have the Judgment Day by your side with all these past successes. You used to mean something. The Judgment Day has been an anchor around your neck. Normally, someone like Finn Balor could elevate guys like them, but they were just dragging him down. Dom had 2 belts and never defended them. And McDonough's head was so big, it made it hard for him to get into the ring, and the fans chant, bobblehead. Punk said, look, I'm a smart guy, but sometimes I do dumb things, and he turns his back and offers a free shot to Finn Balor, but he reminds him he could jeopardize his shot at Elimination Chamber of being the champion if he did that, of course. Punk said, I know I'm the best in the world. I don't need help to prove it, but maybe you do, Finn. And McDonough goes to get him. Finn stops him. Punk just throws the mic at him and leaves.
I just loved it. I love these two. This, like, the chemistry between the two. It's my back to the. We don't get enough of these anymore. I'm like Marge Simpson with those Triple H links. I just think they're neat. Like the mentioning of Finn Balor. The mentioning of Finn Balor improving the main event by wrestling Roman Reigns again because he beat him on his first night. Anyone could do that, Punk, can't you? Like, that was a really nice little detail to throw in. Punk getting in his head enough to hold back the Judgment Day in a convincing enough way and foreshadow how the Brooks Mendez household deal with their issues, as we saw later on in a segment later on with AJ Lee. I think this is excellent. I think this is the best thing WWE have done this year. Like, by some distance, actually. The promos are of a high standard. The first match was of a high standard. I would expect the same.
You've forgotten the crate from earlier, sorry.
There is the crate. Yeah, hands up, actually, yeah. There is the crate.
Second to the crate.
Second to the crate. This is the best thing WWE has done this year. I have no doubt, even if the match can't outperform the one work-wise that we got in Belfast, it'll be just as hot, if not hotter, in Chicago. Punk's last step before he fights Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in his proper main event this year. I love it. This is how you do it. This is meaningless in the grand scheme of things. All of this on paper just doesn't stand up. And yet, week after week after week after week, they come up with lovely little details. The performances are strong. The stakes feel real and authentic. It's TV, like world title holder doing TV world title holder stuff. I can't fault it.
I can. I have really enjoyed it up to this point. This segment on Raw last night felt like I've learned nothing new, and in a bid to fill up TV time, because you do have to promote it and you have to give the illusion of progressing it, even if you don't really have any ideas. In the pursuit of doing it because you have to, they've actually undermined the credibility of both wrestlers because CM Punk's talking nonsense. I mean, Finn Balor famously, as Prince Devitt, rose to superstardom with a certain vehicle, the Bullet Club, who, what did they do? They helped him in matches constantly, to the point where famously it felt like the last ember of true earnest heat, because the New Japan office used to get complaints of, like, who are these dickheads ruining the great matches in the sporting framework, brilliantly sort of established by Hiroshi Tanahashi. If you know Finn Balor's real history, and you're meant to, I guess, because that's what CM Punk's talking about. He's talking crap. If you're a WWE fan who cares nothing about New Japan, nor even wanting to learn it, and guess what? Who cares if they don't? I see this on Twitter quite a bit. Who cares if someone who likes WWE doesn't want it? Just don't engage with them. You're on a different message board, different interest, really. It's like talking to a Pokemon fan about EastEnders. Who cares? Different people, different. Shut up about it. Shut up about it. Anyway, but the idea being, if you do know and you do watch WWE and other wrestling companies, it's kind of ruined it for you and talked nonsense. And CM Punk exists to be the guy who tells the real stories, or the credible ones. So I didn't have time for that last night. But I feel like when the bell sounds in... Where's it going to be? In Chicago?
Chicago United Center.
And at Chicago, I mean, CM Punk could work friggin', 2026 Drew McIntyre, and it was still got a reaction in Chicago.
It is fun to land ones.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I can see that point. I was thinking about Finn Balor completely in NXT as I was watching this, and that's a completely fair argument. Yeah, I was imagining him probably because he's mentioned being Roman Reigns.
Okay, you know what? Maybe
I was visualizing him arriving
about
on Raw.
like from NXT day one.
Yeah.
Maybe okay.
But no, because the rest of the feuders fed off of that as well. It was a bit of a dream match because they missed each other and that. So I think it's reasonable.
After this, Byron Saxton interviews Rhea and Io. That's how they're holding up after a mad few days. Everything that they've gone through. Ripley talks about SmackDown being a battle. Nia and Lash thought they could take the tag titles, but they failed. They turned up the heat, so it's time for RHIYO to put them out. Io's about to talk about her qualifier next week when she's interrupted by Asuka and Kairi Sane. And Sane basically says, well, you've got no chance, have you? It doesn't matter. Both of you, either of you, doesn't really matter. You're never going to win it because we are. Sorry, Asuka definitely is. And Asuka, tells them that they are not ready for the chamber, walks off and then yells for poor terrified Kairi.
Rhea and Io as the last two in the chamber could be bad ass.
That could be hot.
Like, they've not had a reason to go back and revisit that match.
They could take a Michaels that bitch because it ain't happening at Mania, is it?
Yeah.
And just do it for like the 2008 to 2009.
Or you have one of them stuck in a pod watching the other one get beaten up.
that as well.
So I prefer that one. I absolutely prefer the final two.
Your idea has got a terrible potential for awful melodrama and acting, and I do not trust RHIYO or RHIYO with it at all on the evidence of what we saw in the fall. Fall's still so funny, man. Fall.
Leave fall. We need to shorten that. Let's talk about our old friend, The Crate. Because if The Crate is indeed for a pod, Chris Jericho's pod, and you do the men's chamber first, surely that pod gets second use in the women's chamber and Kairi Sane's like in it being like trying to help. Guess what? Asuka got great news. I'm going to keep Jericho's pod.
They would have to do the men's match first. Have they done that yet?
Yeah.
Have they?
Must have done. At least once. They did it in the... did the women's tag chamber not go above the men's one?
Under Levesque, I mean.
Most certainly not. Yeah, he shows no sign of any of the fire he had for booking women like he did in NXT's Golden Era.
Done that. He's already got the credit for that.
Complete that.
On to the next one.
I do remember one Elimination Chamber, actually, where the women's chamber went last on the show.
Under Vince.
It was 2020. If you've never seen it, it's worth a checking out, baby. Because Shayna Baszler just destroys everyone. It's class.
Can't recall it, but, I might check it out.
Sounds good.
Check it out.
What came next? The fake El Grande Americano versus Penta. This was set up earlier, as I mentioned, although we were too busy talking about the crate. El Grande goes for Penta's mask, so Penta does the same to him. But El Grande takes over after a distraction because RHIYO and Bravo are out there. But Penta pulls him off the top rope and hits a Penta driver for a near fall. Penta knocks RHIYO off the apron. He jumps up after this, but El Grande hits a running headbutt for 2. And now he wants the plate to be put in there. So RHIYO distracts the referee whilst Bravo goes to give El Grande the metal plate, but suddenly Bravo disappears under the ring. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like a monster or something under there. But it turns out that wasn't the case. Remember the bin monster from...
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. I was like, where on earth you got that from? No, wrestling has set a precedent. That
wasn't that around this time of year as well? When was that?
That was summer of 2020.
It was deep in after the Pando.
Oh, yeah, of course. Was that around... That was the same show, wasn't it, with the bowling ball into the cock or something?
Horror Show Extreme Rules, wasn't it? The bin monster.
I think so.
Was that the same show as
Eye
Break
for
This
an
One
Eye.
Window and Break It a Second time? Probably.
It was around that time.
around the time.
They were doing anything.
Yeah, absolutely anything. They were having the fight in the bin. Was it Ivar? Was the hunk? Like, there's one point, like,
Not so much.
Jessica Carter's looking over, being like, right, I can't count, because, like, I can't get down there to register 1, 2, 3, and also there's a bin monster. But you're kind of hard. Out of the way, you.
Trying to Ivar to chuck his muck up. Isn't she?
But it's
Everyone
revealed,
was.
it's
That was
revealed to
sort of
be
weird, yeah.
the original El Grande Americano under the ring. He hits a Chaos Theory on Bravo, chucks RHIYO over the announce table, and in all this distraction, Penta flies in and gives fake El Grande Americano a Mexican destroyer for the 1, 2, 3 post-match. The original EGA gives the fake EGA a Chaos Theory and tries to unmask him, but we still don't know who either of these people are.
I've got lots of patience for daft wrestling bollocks, but my criticism of this was that it wasn't really getting over, and I think it is now.
Told you.
Like, this got way more of a reaction tonight. Penta didn't feel like a spare prick at a wedding, just picking up the win while the actual stuff was the El Grande Americano thing. So he's, benefit's a big word, because really, has he got that much of a benefit? Like, I know he'll get an Intercontinental title shot, probably, down the line.
Yes.
But yeah, the fans were coming up for this stuff now. Chad Gable, maybe it's because the Chaos Theory in the floor's bad ass.
It is bad.
But like that, when he goes to the deadlift, and I think one of the commentators is like, "No, surely not," and then he just drills him.
Yeah, Chad Gable used to do that move, didn't he?
Sorry, yeah. Anyway,
University of Warwick, was it?
got away one there. He nearly found out.
What?
Nothing. It's fine. Yeah. Fans a bit more into this. Maybe it's picking up.
Crap.
It's not WrestleMania. Sorry, it's not WrestleMania.
That's boring crap slop is what it is.
Dead man can have it for El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano.
You keep talking about it's
not Mania.
It's a little safety net though, isn't it? This has been on Raw too often for them to pay it off on AAA.
Maybe. WrestleMania.
Shows, baby.
Maybe not WrestleMania, but it's going to get paid off on WWE television.
He's got a streak to protect.
I was going to say El Grande wrestled Ray Phoenix last year. It was boring AS, so maybe that quality match.
This is why I am how I am. You put Chad Gable versus Ray Phoenix in any other company.
I'd love to have seen Chad Gable in that match.
Shut the up.
Set him right up.
Shut the. You know what I mean? It's just like any other promotion. That would be good, like real good.
Mm. Backstage, JD tried to talk some sense into Finn Bálor.
You were doing good this year, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
End of sentence.
Without being like this, and it's all come back with a vengeance.
That could be a good match in WWE or his favourite promotion, AEW.
Yeah.
I love AEW now, man. What's he got on with yesterday? I kept saying we with regards to AEW.
Yeah. Good stuff. This not so much. You've Eric'd it.
Yeah, JD's like, I think we should cripple Punk basically ahead of the match. But Bálor wants to do it on his own. He storms off. McDonough goes after him, and Tom's like, guys, I've still got the qualifier.
Yeah.
AJ Lee comes out next. She said she had fun getting under Becky Lynch's skin. It was so easy. But Becky reminded her this was serious business after...
When?
She rammed her into the ring post, obviously.
Mm.
Lee hasn't had a singles match in over a decade, let alone a title shot. Last time she had a title around her waist, the division looked a little different. They were fighting for a sparkly pink butterfly. But she loved that title. She wore it proudly because she made it. She knew exactly who the hell she was. She wasn't modest. There was a women's division before her. There's a women's division after. That was all a gift. That was her gift to all of them. Lee wanted to fight everyone back there. Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Judgment Day, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss. But for now, all roads lead back to Becky Lynch. She wasn't sure why Lynch was so mad. Maybe because she came back, or her merch does better, or the fans like her more. She gave Becky a 10-year head start, and she still hasn't caught up. But she's not mad at Becky. She's grateful. She gave her a gift. Without her, maybe she wouldn't have come back to wrestling. And I wouldn't have the chance to prove I could still be champion, she said. If I walk out of Chicago victorious, then I sure as hell am going to walk into WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion. And since I know you're here, and you gave me such a sweet gift last week, Becky Boo Boo, if you want to come, can you?
I was watching this. Sorry, Wilbourn. I was like, I like this anyway, but she's like doing all right in my like sort of internal. Remember that pop monitor thing they had for a bit? Had like a Sidge cringe monitor that was like
live and loud.
Yeah, live and loud. It's like Becky Boo Boo, like a massive siren going off.
That's basically what happened to my head.
I got something for that ass, she says. Becky comes out. She was amused that Lee thought this was a chance at a title run. Instead, Becky says this is an opportunity to get all your friends and family together and give you a send-off, the retirement match you never got or even deserved. You could all cry while I shove away your hearse. That's quite funny, that. Lee's gift to them was when she left. Becky's been making history for 10 years whilst Lee's made comic books. And she says if you miraculously make it through Elimination Chamber, you can dictate to your computer, because you'll be in a full body cast, and you can dictate about the time you went face-to-face, one-on-one with the greatest of all time. It's not just me saying it, other people saying it, Sports Illustrated, Bleacher Report. And maybe that comic book will actually sell.
I like that.
AJ fires back. Tell you what, we can save the title match for Chicago. Why don't you get in this ring, eh? Come in. We can throw hands right now, just for the hell of it here in Memphis. Let's go, Becky Boo Boo. Another big whoop that trick chant here. He's so over, man. Becky's like, whoa, sweet child of mine. Do you think I'm stupid? Do I look stupid to you? I'm going to get in there and you'll sucker punch me. And AJ's like, I wouldn't do that. But since you love cheap shots, I'll even let you take the first swing. Come on, Becky, take your shot. And she even puts her hands behind her back. But Becky says, do you not think I know the game you're playing? I know what it is. You want me to beat you up so you can have an excuse that you can't get the job done at Elimination Chamber. I don't fight in Memphis. And she storms out.
I've just got one thing to say about this before Hamflett does all the talking. This felt very much like we got panned last week, and it was absolutely rubbish. Go out, reiterate everything again, do it again. We'll take it more seriously this time, and it was significantly less unbearable as a result.
Yeah, proper. Do it again. Like, just whether that was internally a bollocking or a response to feedback or a mix of the two, or the wrestlers themselves having pride about their work and the performances and knowing what, like, or trying to understand what works and what doesn't, and being okay to say, you know what, that didn't take. I said it at the time after Unreal Dead. It put me in such a better mood with that absolute Turcarino between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch that on that documentary, it was one of the few things where somebody was permitted to say that not everything is fantastic. They were like, Lyra Valkyria was devastated, and like there's a bunch of wrestlers like trying to say it's going to be all right, and she was wanting Becky Lynch to bollock her and stuff, and Becky's like, right, well, this is good and bad because I've lived a life of getting chewed out for stuff, and it's not good for your mental health, but it's good that you want to kind of almost like face a consequence and want to do better next time, you know? So maybe Becky Lynch and AJ Lee have got that ability to be a bit introspective, and not everything is perfect, and they can look back and be like,
Must have known.
Yeah,
it was
like,
awful.
It was completely missed. It was like badly performed, but it was, the tone was off. It missed the point of what it was trying to sell. This didn't at all. Like they applied themselves to this as if, as they should have done last week, and as they always should, really, as if that this is as real as it gets. This lingering tension between the two. There was a nice. I don't think they've gone too hard on AJ Lee's legacy yet. There will come a point where that becomes annoying and repetitive, but she only really did it in that first promo back, where she was almost like a bit of an explainer, like, I got a massive pop in Chicago, but if you don't know who I am, let me tell you why maybe people liked me. And they were able to use that again here, kind of for the first time, I think, with AJ Lee.
They needed this segment as well, because I don't think the heat was it.
No.
It felt like AJ Lee as a character had sort of died off quite drastically.
There wasn't much for this, was there? But you now think there might be again. You know what I hadn't realised? There's like a sort of kind of bit of symmetry here, isn't there? Because, like, you know, Becky Lynch and Finn Balor coming up from the same circuit, same part of the world. Like, Becky Lynch went to Finn Balor's training school. They were in a relationship at one point. And it's just funny how that's played out with AJ Lee and CM Punk on this show. And they'd done, like, an Island Raw where this was a focus, and now they're going to be in Chicago. And that's nice. It's probably more coincidence than anything else, but it's just funny how that's
Maybe fees on it.
You mix tag that bitch coming out of Elimination Chamber. That's a free hit on Raw.
Yeah.
A fee hit.
That's, yes. Now I will concede that Rob Fee was responsible for something because it's played into some wordplay. You should have done that from the beginning, and I would have.
Is it the main event?
Not quite. We have a bit with Division and Adam Pearce. Basically, Bronson says, I'm going to get that masked man. And quite rightly, it's like, you know, he's pissing me off as well. He's just wrecking my show. But yeah, Bronson says, I'm going to take him out and I'm going to win the Elimination Chamber. And they confirm next week you've got the qualifiers, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kairi Sane versus the original El Grande Americano, Bronson Reed and Jey Uso. And a tribute to AJ Styles.
I've got a take on this, but let's save that for the preview.
Okay.
I mean, you can talk about it if you want. I'm not the talk police. I'm just saying. It's probably preview fodder.
It is preview fodder. It's interesting. It's AJ Styles. Like, this is that he is as interesting as he is a big success story this year that I don't think anybody would have sort of foreseen. Like, it's just interesting, isn't it? It's AJ Styles and it's interesting. Who'd have thunk it?
Not me.
But speaking of tributes, tributes, that is, it's time for this week's Gooner Comment of the Week. And speaking of Gooners, Simon Miller, happy birthday. It's Simon Miller's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Miller.
Happy birthday, Miller.
Gooner's an Arsenal fan. Miller's not a pervert.
We don't know that. We haven't seen his internet history.
And I'm a full-on Gooner going forward right now because Arsenal have drawn Mansfield in the FA Cup.
Happy birthday, Miller. What a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
And I want to give another mention before we get into the comments to the lovely David McCready on X, who has started a thing tagging me in Gooner comments.
How do you see the comments, McGreedy?
So,
How do you see the comments?
sort of, there's layers to this. So, Ringside News posted an article that reads,
Oh, God.
no, don't worry. JCW's Paige Collette says Rikishi gave her permission to use the stink face. And Paige Collette shared this article, writing, "Oh, and I will." And John on X,
Government name?
dunno, he's got a picture of the cartoon drawing of Heisenberg as his avatar. Writes, "But with you, it's not a stink face. I bet that ass tastes like a milkshake." So,
Probably doesn't. Realistically.
No. John.
um,
Bio. Love my kids. Love my family. Place of work, probably in the link.
Love my stink pipes. Stink pipe addict. It's still the best of all time.
and this week's comments are all about Chris Statlander.
Why?
Because she had a great title match with Tekla.
Oh, so we're going to get some good observations and analysis on a in-ring.
Well,
work.
because I'm such a big fan of AEW, I wanted to mention this. And
The Iconics. I now hate their signing as much as the people who are scared that that they're only going to get 1 hour and 52 minutes of good wrestling on a 2-hour program.
better be on Dynamite this week.
You were doing so well not to be insufferable this year. Why has it come back with a vengeance today? What's wrong, Adam?
I'm just feeling it, man. Just.
Yeah, please don't do this all the time. I'm asking you nicely.
Chris Statlander then. And there was a clip from the match with Tekla. Obviously, it was... What type of match was it? I can't remember, actually.
It was a strap match.
Ah, yeah, that was it. So there was a clip shared on X, and Wrestle Breeder...
So what was the
God. I don't think I need to tell you what the clip is.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Her ass up in the air while her hands were tied behind her back made me explode. If you didn't watch this with one hand in your pants, you're doing it wrong.
I mean, you probably did it right, though, if anything.
Yeah,
it's called not objectifying them.
Just watch telly if you like.
Explode.
As always, that's one of my fave 5.
Right.
That's what we got 4 left.
Yeah.
Good.
Look writes, please, Lord, let that ass envelop my face.
So, you said, Fed's my religion. It's ass.
Yeah, clearly.
Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Praying to the Lord of Ass.
Yeah.
I don't think any of your classic God figures and
They've got enough on.
your traditional religions don't sort of. It's more like the needy and the sick that, or whatever.
As opposed to the
You
ass.
don't really ask for ass.
No.
Underclass Hero writes, the sloppiest BJ, the loudest gucks.
That's horrifying.
But this is
How would they know?
Here's a nice one, okay? Here's a nice one.
Gucks.
Here's a nice one from John Doe. So full name, using his full name there. It's just a heart eyes emoji. That's lovely, isn't it? Just showing appreciation for what Tekla and Chris Statlander have done. Oh, sorry, no. It's a heart eyes emoji with the phrase, lick it while I finger you, written next to it.
They just put it.
They
just type it down and post.
Yeah.
It keeps
What
happening.
will poor Mrs. Doe think? That's what I'm worried about.
Jane.
It's all over. Mr. and Mrs. Doe, yeah.
Yeah. This one's going to be worse, though, which I'm not. I don't think I'm prepared for this one today,
This is the one that sealed it. Beast. Right.
God.
But it's Beast with like a 3 in it instead of the E.
Right.
Right. Much better.
It would take... Once again, these do not reflect the views of WhatCulture Wrestling.
What do you mean, once again? You haven't really established that disclaimer.
Yeah.
We say that often. Usually with the WWE.
Often.
We say that with the WWE Gooniverse.
Yeah. And this is the AW universe.
Indeed, yes. Beast writes, it would take the force of the entire US military to pull my tongue out of that ass.
See, I like that.
I like it.
I like those comments. Right? I like it when they've made a creative attempt to like be funny or to create a vivid picture of like
the 82nd Airborne.
Yeah, like,
by the way, can you imagine if they were invaded that day? Where's the military? We're busy with beasts.
It's not the gooning. He wants to sort of show his creative side.
It's the hyperbole of desire that I like. Not just like tongue my asshole while you touch my cock or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's no creativity to that. Right? He still finds it funny though.
They both work. Different tweets, different needs.
Different needs.
So that's anyway. This week's Gooner comment of the week.
Yep.
Now it's main event time.
I'm done. I'm not recovering from Beast's comment there.
It was Gunther, Javon Evans, and Dirty Dom. Elimination Chamber
There you go,
qualifier.
slamming Yokozuna on the USS Intrepid, but nobody's there.
Yeah,
Because they were all trying to pull his tongue out. I've just slammed bloody Yoko here.
We need more recruits.
Sergeant Slaughter. Everybody on their way, and that's an order.
Go on, you little puke. Get your tongue out her ass, you little puke.
Wilbourn, just before we do this, I need to bounce, so I'm going to leave you to
Okay.
do this, but enjoy.
Okay. Main event time.
Scared off the producer, Adam.
I've repulsed him so much.
Dude, the comments are
There's a line.
taking their first victim.
Off to Indeed.com I go.
Yes, it was Dom, Javon, and Gunther. Dom repeatedly just not wanting anything to do with Gunther. So Evans drop kicks both of them. But Gunther catches one of them, puts him in a Boston Crab. Dom seizes opportunity, comes in with a chop. What are you doing, mate? Gunther just chops him down.
That was funny.
Evans also jumped into a chop from Gunther later on. And Gunther then dragged Dom to the floor and sent him into the barricade. And again, Gunther wants to powerbomb him, but then we get that huge dive from Javon Evans over the turnbuckle onto Gunther to take us to a commercial. Always looks amazing, that. When we come back, Gunther powerbombs Javon Evans on top of Dom, chops Evans in the back, but Evans avoided a powerbomb this time and hit a running knee strike. Dom breaks up the cover. Dom goes for a frog splash. Gunther gets his knees up. Evans hit Gunther with a springboard clothesline, but Gunther then catches Evans in a sleeper. Evans' jawbreaker is his way out of it. He wants the OG cutter. Again, though, Gunther catches him in a sleeper. Dom breaks that up with a frog splash on Gunther's back, goes for a 619, but Gunther just kills him with a clothesline. Dom then earlier on grabbed this, by the way, put it on the stairs, but he grabs the ring bell hammer as Evans puts Gunther in a sleeper. But Gunther hit a back suplex and suddenly realized, having booted Dom out of the ring, that he had a hammer in his hand. I was like, what the hell are you doing? But suddenly, who should appear but Dragon Lee, who flies in off the back of what happened a few weeks ago and nails Gunther with the ring bell. Gunther's out of it. Dom hit Evans with a 619, but Evans then avoided the frog splash and hit the OG cutter to get the 1, 2, 3 and qualify the Elimination Chamber.
I loved all of this. The match, for starters, over-delivered for me. I wondered how much they would, this is why he does it, with the triple threats, right? They've not beaten Jacob Fatu and Gunther in the last week, and yet they have lost, right? And it's the consequences of their losses come off the back of existing storylines and feed into the next thing they're going to do. Gunther has not really had to suffer the consequences of the very big bad things he's been doing, but he's
just been beating people cleanly.
He's eating a little bit here and not before time, and Dragon Lee's going to pay for this and it's going to be awful. And where that heads, and it's like keeps Gunther exactly where he needs to be, because ultimately what he suffered here is an annoyance rather than a massive, massive setback. But it's a way to still play with Gunther having experienced something like a loss rather than an actual loss. Same with Jacob Fatu and what's going on with how Drew McIntyre remains as part of that, how even Sami Zayn potentially remains part of that, and obviously Cody Rhodes. Meanwhile, when we did the WrestleMania fantasy booking thing, I suggested John Evans to potentially become Intercontinental Champion because it's just a thing you do sometimes as a sort of as a show of, like, to tell the crowd, really, like, this is where they're at now, but, you know, if you still buy into the Continental title, you can buy into Javon Evans, and Dominik Mysterio can fail upwards subsequently. I'm not suggesting that's definitely going to happen off the back of this finish, but it could. You might have just opened up a storyline avenue for, once Javon Evans hasn't won the Elimination Chamber, to have a very good case for an Intercontinental title match with Dominik Mysterio, a guy who CM Punk on this very episode has alluded to the fact is kind of ducking challenges at this point because he's got his commitments, carrying 2 belts around. Like, they might have just, again, shown you the possibility of a WrestleMania match, or at very least the reason for one to take place, in the body of a match that I thought was really entertaining, like, very well worked. Dominik Mysterio continues to make the minor improvements that are needed if he's actually going to ascend properly, rather than just be more of like a cartoon in that main event scene. And yeah, I thought the use of Gunther was spot on here as well. Nobody should touch him, theoretically, but he has to pay for his actions sometimes, and this minor little payment here will result in very dark days for Dragon Lee and the person that, like, Gunther feuds with next.
AJ Styles' tribute show next week, maybe.
Almost definitely. Like, yeah, I'm really into this. The proper overlapping stuff, the proper booking, the proper potential and the directions, and all the things I enjoy.
All the things he enjoys. It was alright. One of the better matches on Raw this year. That isn't one of the better. Like, I don't really care. Not like Punk, Bálor. Like the best of the rest, probably. Look, they had a couple of objectives here, as Hamflett points out. They nailed them. I think Javon Evans genuinely needed, like, to do something really cool in a big match. Otherwise, he was just kind of. I don't think he was, like, in danger of just being there. But when you're in, like, a 10-minute nothing match against fake El Grande, America, whatever the his name is. I don't know. I always get it wrong. I always feel like, oh, God. Sometimes it really hits me. You are 40 years old. And you're having, like, little dad comments and...
Oh, cognitive decline is horrendous at this age, isn't it? You notice how
scary.
fast it...
Aye. Yeah. Yes.
It'll come for you too.
El Grande
man in your
America.
30s.
There's El Grande America still in it, son.
There's four of them, like the dogs, I suppose.
Yeah, no. Like, real fake originally.
Did somebody ask for me? Not this week, Dominik.
It was me, New Fake Burgers. We were the best. What do you say? Crunch.
I loved feeding with crunch.
I love feeding with crunch.
I battered out a crunch. Took a bucket of water over Booby Heenan, and then they gave me a little donk. Good run it was.
But he Gorilla Typhoon as well. Got a bit of splashback. Oh, God. Anyway, Javon Evans, had a good night.
Okay, well, let us know your thoughts on Raw in the comment section below, or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Actually, they can follow all 3 of us. Sort of.
I think we just figured out he's in the crate. It's a big comeback for the Doinkster.
You can follow Michael Hamflett sort of at
HamflettX@gmail.com. I'm also on Cameo.
follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcast from. For daily wrestling podcast, we'll be back later on today with the NXT preview. But for now, it's been the Raw review. My thanks to Hamflett, Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.